investment sa ARMM. For example, based on RBOI, Regional Board of Investment registration, umabot ng 14 billion plus ang registrant. However, because of the from time to time na conflict, talagang mag-aalangan yung mag-i-invest. So, hindi ka rin makagenerate ng jobs. Kaya mahalaga rito sa amin yung public investment. Halimbawa, ang sabi ho ng PSA sa amin, ng PSA sa amin, merong 3 category bakit mahirap yung tao sa ARMM. Halimbawa, sir, ilaw. Punta ka ng Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, Basilan, or even Lanao del Sur, wherein the source of energy, 60% of Mindanao comes from Lanao del Sur. 70% or even 80% of Lanao del Sur walang ilaw. Then, pagdating sa housing project, kahit tingnan natin yung NHA housing project, bihira yung nangyayari sa ARMM. Meron noon, pero ito yung transitional shelter doon sa mga areas na affected ng conflict na tinayo ng OPAP noon. Ito yung pamana. Pero mag-last long lang to mga 2 years. So, kaya ang ginawa ko ng sir, meron kaming strategic intervention. Later siguro ipipresent namin. I hope yung committee. Halimbawa, sir, parang sa amin na lang. Nung nakaraang taon, 2017, ang public investment for infra namin nasa 18. Pero na-islas pa rito yung 8.3 billion dahil doon sa issue ng... Ngayon, bumalik kami sa original 10 billion. Pero ang road network namin na kailangan naming i-fade, including farm-to-market roads, umabot ng 7,000 kilometers. At na-pave namin yun from 2012 up to 2017 is only 1,500. So, meron pa kaming gap. So, talagang, yung reasons lahat, may problema ka sa governance, may problema ka sa conflict, tapos walang private investment, tapos kulang yung public investment. Tapos andyan pa yung issue, halimbawa, yung gaps. Halimbawa, bigay lang ng concrete example. DA. Ang ARM is agricultural areas, karamihan and fishery. Ang DA every year nag-allocate siguro sa ARM from 500 to 600 million. Pero halimbawa, ngayon lang, sir, yung project namin for 2016, 2017 na na-release. Yung project namin ng 2017 hindi pa nare-release. Same yan, happened yan sa DepEd, nag-happen yan sa... Ibig sabihin ito, may problema talaga, may gaps doon sa devolution process. After nung 1996 peace agreement, hanggang ngayon wala pa talagang nangyayari. So tingin ko later, sir, mas ma-present namin thoroughly.
No, we'll take up your budget simultaneously with the... Anyway, interrelated
Pwede sir, magtanong na lang para hindi na kayo
sige.
We can ask.
I was the one responsible for realigning the 8.3 billion pesos, because of the, Organic Act, Klaro naman Kasi yung meron kayong sariling regional public works, and the national agency, which is the Department of Public Works and Highways, cannot implement projects within the ARM area, hindi ba? And this will go on as long as we don't find the cure, yung remedy. How do we go about allowing national government agencies to implement projects within the ARM or the region without violating the Organic Act? So,
actually, sir,
do you have any solution? Yeah.
Actually, sir, nung nasa Congress kami, actually on leave ako at that time. Until now, on leave ako. Pero nung ni-require ako ng Congress na humarap to settle all these things. Hanggang ngayon, yung discussion on that particular provision of RA 9054 is still unresolved. In fact, this afternoon, DPWH, together with the Speaker of the Regional Legislative Assembly and myself, will be having a meeting also together with the Committee on Appropriation. Pero very clear yung provision. But
saka
again,
merong jurisprudence, merong jurisprudence. So we cannot go against the Constitution, the Organic Act, plus yung Supreme Court ruling on the issue. So yun ang problema natin.
Nga sir, ang sinasabi namin, ang counter-proposal namin dyan, of course, by principle, gusto namin lumaki ang budget namin. Lumaki yung investment, especially yung public investment, in the absence of private investment in time of conflict. Especially now that radicalism is really in the height, nung kanilang talagang bituka. So, mas kailangan namin yan. Kung gusto nating humabol talagang ARMM, malawak yung public investment. Pero sir, ang proposal namin nga dito, one, i-process kami. So, ibig sabihin, ang DPWH together with other line agency, pwede namin i-process magtulungan paano na hindi ma-violate.
Pwede ma-reconcile, di ba? Without violating the Organic Act, at the same time, appropriating or even allocating funds for the development of the arm.
Yes, sir.
Hindi ba? Ang naging problema ko kasi, all 8 legislative district representatives were lobbying my office. No? And they were following up the 8.3 billion pesos, but the appropriation then would be parked in the Department of Public Works and Highways. Alam mo, Governor, and the information of the others, medyo marami ako mag-isip pagka ganun eh. No? Meron nang naka-allocate na 450 million each sa mga legislative districts. And here came the 8 congressmen and congresswomen, pinapollow up yung 8.3. So sabi ko sa mga colleagues ko, and we discussed this during our caucus, sabi ko, that's 1.5 billion each in pork. Di ba? Because those who would identify or had already identified the projects were representatives of the 8 legislative districts who are national officials. And ipapark nila sa regional offices ng DPWH sa 9 and I think 10 and 12. So sabi ko, paano mag-implement ngayon yung Region 9 regional office ng DPWH sa Region 9 sa Saang, meaning Basilan, Sulu, and then yung Region 12, mag-implement naman doon sa nearby provinces. So how can I justify that being the sponsor of the budget of ARM? So I really fought hard against it. And now, eto na naman, magdi-recur na naman yan, and I'm looking for solutions, no, without sacrificing development, at the same time, without violating the Constitution. So give me or give us a solution para ma-reconcile natin. Ano ba magandang gawin dito? And probably kasi concerned din ito ng OPAP, concerned na rin ng Mindanao Authority and all the other agencies present here today in this hearing. Pag-usap-usapan natin, ano ba magandang gawin dito? Di ba?
Actually, Mr. Chair, magandang punto yun. We were going to lead to that because they have projects that they cannot fund. For example, yung tulay going to Maguindanao. Anong tulay yun? Malapit na mag-collapse yun.
Tungol Bridge.
Tungol Bridge.
Tungol Bridge, yes.
And I think 500 million is already in the budget of the DPWH National. But nasa area po ng location ng ARM at magsascouring na malapit na po mag-collapse. I think within the month or so, if we do not address that problem, that bridge is the only bridge that will connect region, the Cotabato provinces to Maguindanao and Cotabato City. Pag natanggal yan, ano na sila? They are cut off. And then other projects, so for example, the flooding in the Maguindanao area, it's a multi-project approach inside the ARM and outside of the ARM in the provinces of Bukidnon, North Cotabato, all the way to Cotabato City, dadaan ng Maguindanao. So we need to seek the support of the chairperson because kailangan natin gawin kung hindi natin gagawin at hindi po kaya ng budget ng ARM yan. Kailangan ng supplemental from the national budget. But my point being, Governor, nandito na po kayo at we're talking about the ARM budget. Let's face the facts on corruption. Let's call a spade a spade. You know, my mayors, when they would go to the DAP, yung Development Academy of the Philippines seminar, kasama nila yung mga brother mayors and sister mayors nila from ARM, may isang beses nagkwento sa akin, nagtawanan pa sila, but I didn't find it funny, when they told me na yung kasama nilang mga taga-ARM, sabi nila, uwi na kami, dahil magtituition na yung mga anak, babayaran na namin yung tuition ng mga anak namin, dahil nandyan na yung IRA. Kinukunan nila sa IRA yung pera nila. I was shocked when they told me that. Sabi nila, that's the normal, let's call a spade a spade. And that is why developmental projects in the ARM, in the past, have not been very successful. Mahal na mahal ko kayo. And I know, number 1 ako sa region. That's why I love you guys. And I want the region to succeed. How can the region succeed if we have that type of mentality, the mindset? So, ang importante dyan, yung tinatawag na efficient and effective implementation of the projects. What is the efficient? Yung hindi po overpriced, di ba? And then yung pangalawa, yung effective implementation, ibig sabihin na tayo. Kasi Senator, may humingi sa akin na isang probinsya, hindi ko na sasabihin, para sa kanilang farm-to-market fruit, pala, bumili pala ng farm implements, baka baril yung binili nila, hindi ko alam. Hindi ma-account. Kaya sabi ko, tama si Senator Lacson on his anti-corruption drive. We have to make sure that, yes, we have to increase public funding, but we have to make sure na hindi mawawala yung perang ito kasi kung hindi, lalaki lang po yung porsyento ng lalagay nila sa bulsa nila. Di ba? And that's not only for ARM. This also, we have the same, I have the same speaking, I have the same policy when it comes to all provinces and regions, including ours. We have zero tolerance. Pagka ganun sa Region 10, RDC yung tatay ko, hindi talaga kami papayag sa ganun. As a matter of fact, one strike policy lang. Pag hindi natayo yan, wala nang project for the next year dapat yan. So, yes, Governor, could you answer?
Sir, one thing I assure you, kung ang budget is allocated in ARM, in fact, mamaya nga gusto naming i-present, dyan nyo makikita, even sa any agencies na hindi nyo makikita, yung pre-implementation, pati yung implementation process ng ARM. Kasi lahat ng road network namin naka-geotag. At kahit pupuntahan mo ang Google, halimbawa ngayon, naka-line item naman kaming sinasubmit. Ang hindi ko ma-assure sa inyo kung hindi galing sa ARM yung budget. Halimbawa, 20% ng local government or national line agencies nagmuha sa different agencies which not pass through Office of the Regional Governor, hindi ko kayo ma-assure doon. Pero kung yung budget nakagaa, ito nga ang pangako ko lagi and I'm proud of, kung merong isa at sabihin, merong project sa loob ng ARM from 2012 na naglingkod na ako hanggang 2017, kahit isang metro na nagos, ipakita lang sa akin ng ebidensya, pwede akong bumitaw sa pwesto.
Well, so, yung map-based na electronic platform, that's good. In fact, I endorse it to the DBCC during the DBCC hearing, na baka pwedeng i-replicate, gawin na national, because that's really very useful pagdating sa elimination ng ghost project, because it's open to the public, di ba? And yung password nito will only be given to agencies that will update, di ba? Update the progress of the implementation. But the public has access, complete access doon sa mismong project and makikita mismo yung implementation. The question is, yung quality. That's another matter because yung geotagging, makikita lang nun yung project. Pero anong quality ng project or yung infra project, whatever it is, infra project or livelihood project, makikita ba yung quality doon sa inyong map-based na electronic platform? Maybe not.
Actually, sir, may dalawang level kami ng, aside from independent agency na monitoring, katulad ng COA, of course, that is another problem. Pero within ARM, meron kaming dalawang level ng monitoring and testing. One, yung DPWH, may sarili silang testing. Quality control. Built-in. And aside from
to the regional DPWH.
Regional DPWH. And aside from that, yung Office of the Regional Governor, through RPDO, ito yung NEDA namin, meron kaming tinatawag na RPMC, yung Regional Project Monitoring Committee, na merong from CSO, pati ibang individual, even Regional Legislative Assembly. Kaya ma-assure ko, baka hindi naman 100% na yung quality, pero I'm sure, sir, hindi yung bababa ng 70-80, yun talagang makikita nyo na ang problema doon. Pero ang point ko lang, sir, with regards doon sa local government units, ang isang problema namin sa LGU, kahit sabihin pa sa batas ang supervision ay sa amin, pero sa totoo lang naman, wala rin kaming control sa kanila. Ang budget nila is automatically appropriated. In fact, they are more than autonomous than us. Kami kailangan namin humarap sa inyo. Ang local government, they can appropriate their own. Pag nirelease mo ng pondo, mag-20% sila. Second, wala namang report sinasubmit sa amin ng LGU. Kailangan pa namin humingi, pupunta ng BRGF.
Governor, you are the governor. It reflects on your leadership. If they do not comply with your directive to submit or give you a feedback, then something is really very wrong.
Sir, actually sa RN 9054 kasi walang specific. Kaya ang ginagawang report, ang ginagawa ko namin ngayon, ang DILGR nakikipagmuha sa COA, nakikipagmuha sa BLGF at National DILG. Kasi nga, ang sinasabi namin, who released their fund? Hindi ho kami. So, wala sila, kumbaga, minsan hindi rin namin alam na yon. Unlike yung halimbawa sir, yung budget nila, wala namang sinasabi sa law, katulad ng munisipyo, na bago i-approve yung budget nila, kailangan nilang papuntahin sa provincial government. Ang provincial government o municipal government, walang sinasabi sa batas, kailangan yan i-review ng Regional Legislative Assembly. Kaya yun yung defect ng batas na sinasabi ko na tingin ko as a matter of policy, sir. Halimbawa, nag-BBL tayo ngayon. Ang gusto natin is strong coordination.
On the national level, yung local government code is very specific, di ba? From the Barangay Development Council, it goes to the municipal and city, and then to the provincial, all the way to the regional. Hindi ba ganun
No,
ang practice?
hindi sir. Kasi yung local government of 1991 mas nahuli na ipinasa, na naipasa na even nung na-amend, hindi ho provided yon sa Republic Act 1954.
I believe only at the level of provincial government kasi sa amin, let's say in Northern Mindanao, wala naman kami pong regional governor. So hanggang provincial level lang yung approval ng mga kanilang budgets on the local level. Not even approval, it's just monitoring as a matter of fact.
Halimbawa, eto lang para makatulong din yung matter of policy to. Hindi ako naguhugas ng kamay rito. I'm taking the responsibility, sir. Pero ang sinasabi ko lang, kung gusto nila at ayaw nila, wala rin akong magawa doon. Kasi it is not provided in the law.
On the classroom, on the issue of education, kasi let me just go back to the Mindanao. Ang nakita ko kasi, wala tayong masyadong concrete programs and DOPAP on educating a lot of our brethren in Mindanao. As a matter of fact, wala akong naririnig pa sa OPAP on the Minda on the plan on a thorough program on education, whether it is secondary, primary, and tertiary education. What I heard mostly are creation of agro-industrial centers, creation of the railway system. The reason I say this is because they will not work. Nobody can work because if they don't know how to weld the machine, they cannot be in the shipbuilding yards. So I say this because we created an anti-poverty summit in Bukidnon to find out why we were in the top 10 in terms of poverty level in the last 2015 survey. Ang lumalabas talaga is education. About 30% of our population are IPs. And the number of IPs in Bukidnon, marami yan. Umaabot ng mga 400,000 yan. Hindi sila focused on education. So now we're trying to drive at getting the IP, children of the IP communities to go back to school. Kasi it is their attitude na huwag na mag-aral, sumama na kayo sa amin sa farm. And then, of course, if they're not educated, we all know, pag hindi sila nag-graduate ng elementary, no read, no write, wala talaga sila sa buhay. And these are the same people that are giving Secretary Just Duresa problems because they are now being recruited by the New People's Army at a cost of only 1 sack of rice a month. We called them, tumawag kami 2 months ago, we called for a summit with the IP Datu leaders. Sabi nila, Governor, Datu Intunda, yun ang ano ng daddy ko, Datu Intunda, hindi kami wala po kami magagawa. Yung mga anak namin sumasama dahil binibigyan ng 1 sack of rice ng NPA para sumama sa bundok. Kaya, ang punto dyan is, it goes back to education. And it same goes to our brother Muslims and sister Muslims. Because in some regions, when I did my research, sa kanila, okay na po yung madrasa, yung every Sunday mag-skwela, wag na sila magpunta sa government school. So, that is something that we have to have a change or redirection of mindset among our brothers and sisters in Mindanao, whether they're IP, whether they're Dinagats, whether they're our brother and sister Muslim. Kasi that is the key. All of you here, ladies and gentlemen, in this table, lalo na ang brother Muslims and sister Muslims natin, were educated. May it be Mindanao State University, may it be UP, may it be different schools. And that is why you've achieved the position that you've achieved now. Unfortunately, if we look at our people now in the field, and that is why extremism is so high, is because nabobola sila. Pagpunta ko po sa Baloy, I was there giving relief goods. I tried to talk to each and every family na nandun sa loob ng center, ng relocation evacuation center. Alam mo, hindi nila ako makausap ng Tagalog. At kung ninapitan po ako ng DSWD, sabi niya, sir, no read, no write, itong mga to. Siguro 90% of each mother that I talk to, yeah, they're looking at me and I was talking to them in Tagalog. And basic Tagalog, and sabi niya, hindi po nakakaintindi po yan, and ganito, ganyan. And they were the ones, the DSWD were telling me. So it goes back to poverty eradication through education, through livelihood, through 4Ps. Suggest yung 4Ps natin is questionable implementation in Mindanao yan. We have to look into that. Because apparently, yung IP communities, I'm only speaking for IPs, hindi yung sa ARM. Yung IP communities, because they do not qualify, mga anak nila hindi nag-aaral, hindi sila nabibigyan. So, talagang sila ang kawawa-kawawa. Yun ang kawawa, hindi pa natutulungan ng ating 4P program. And the former secretary, Tagiwalo, was frowning upon the 4P program. Kaya walang expansion, walang natutulungan. So, these are several issues that I'd like to put on the table. I'll go first to the education. We'll go back to education. I'll ask first Sec Alonto, Sec Duresa, and what has ARM been doing about the issue on educating our people, about educating our children. Secretary.
Before you respond, Secretary, supplement lang ano, sa sinabi ni Senator Subiri. When I was taking about my general staff course, when I was taking up my general staff course, very vivid sa akin yun, yung PDPIDI. Ito yung best recruiter ng mga insurgents. P for poverty, ignorance, lack of education, disease, and injustice. Ito yung talagang top reasons kung bakit dumadami noon during my time in the service, yung members ng CPP and PA, plus, of course, yung extremism na nga, sinasabi, insurgency in the South. So, yes, please answer.
Mr. Chairman, response to the query, the good Senator Subiri. Looking at the government policies and programs, I think you have to look at it and speaking about education, it was only when the government created the Commission National Integration under the administration of Garcia that we have a greater emphasis on education of the cultural communities in this country that has produced more than 5,000 professionals and have joined indigenous people and the Moro people have joined the government bureaucracy and our private sector's practice. Now, here, when we created, as we proposed, in fact, Mr. Chairman, with honor, the creation of the Muslim Affairs, I was the proponent. The creation of the Ministry of Muslim Affairs and National Cultural Communities. I have never, and we have never abandoned the cultural communities, and I'm referring to the Lomads and the IPs. They were included. That is precisely why it was named Ministry of Muslim Affairs and National Cultural Communities, incidentally downgraded. But the unfortunate about this office, Mr. Chairman, is that I included in that program, the creation of that office, the Department of Education, their own Bureau of Education also, where they can provide scholarships. But it was taken out by the Department of Education. Now, what we have now in the Muslim Affairs, they could have included the grant of scholarship. But nevertheless, Mr. President, I think that is already passed. What we can do now, as we have proposed to Congress, even in the adoption of the BBL, and in this systemic shift in the federal system of government, is that education, the mineral resources, including strategic fossils of either uranium, must be programmed. All the revenues coming from it, government revenues coming from it, must be programmed solely to provide free education, including also free health care and affordable housing program. Because, Mr. Chairman, if we cannot do that, I don't think we can fast-track the education of our people.
And the best chance, the best opportunity is now under President Duterte.
Yes, well, that's what we
Kasi iba talaga attention sa Mindanao. Pagka lumampas pa itong administration, wala nang missed opportunity na or lost opportunity. So this is the best time under any administration for that matter to really produce a developed Mindanao, a progressive Mindanao.
So with that free education, free medical care, and affordable housing programs for our people, this, I'm referring particularly to the Moros and indigenous people, the Lomads. We are including also, Mr. Chairman, in fact, not only the education of our young at the eastern states, in fact, greater emphasis must be put there, but the revival of the Mindanao Development Executive Academy, where we can, the Mindanao Executive Development Academy, where we can train all year round the local executives, Mr. Chairman, because it is these leaders who are in touch or on the forefront, they have to know. Marawi Siege must be an experience and we must learn from it. We have to educate our own local leaders, not only our people, but our leaders who are governing them. They have to know.
Secretary, Mr. Chairman, Secretary, so please include that in your program of government for the next 5 years. At least come up with a program for education. I like that. I like that issue, the Mindanao Development Academy. Baka we can host it sa Maramag, dun sa property ninyo dun.
Yeah.
By the way, Mr. Chairman, full disclosure, Maramag is my hometown. Yung when we passed the law, it was Congressman Rufus Rodriguez who proposed that to put it in Maramag because it is the center of Mindanao. If you look at the map, we are in the center of Mindanao. So being Minda, hindi lamang po silang taga Davao, but now they've been the center. Don't worry, Secretary, we're also building an airport. So baka maka-airport.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, may airport na tayo doon. But we would love to host that. That is key, Secretary. The Mindanao Development Academy for executives in Mindanao will also probably help us control the problem of corruption.
Yeah.
Because then you can train them efficient government management, pitfalls of corruption and all that, so maganda po yan. So baka you can include it in your proposals. Yusek Janet, I know you're the workhorse there. I'd like to see more programs and projects concerning education. Tap the TESDA as well. Our fellow Maranao is the head of TESDA, Secretary Tamundong. Mamunjong, sorry. Secretary Mamunjong is head of the TESDA. I'd like to see a more proactive TESDA, just like Senator Joel was when he was TESDA chair. Parang hindi ko nakikita na yun sa TESDA na yun. Gusto ko nga aking very good friend, si Secretary Tamundong, Mamunjong, because we really need a very proactive TESDA. For our brothers and sisters in the arm, too late na maging high school student ulit, too late na maging grade school student. Baka pwede pa maging TESDA graduate. Kung gusto mo maglagay ng shipbuilding, the welding, electrical, and all that is easily learned under the TESDA programs. All these highways, and I call it the edifice complex, maganda po yan. Billions of pesos worth of highways, and hindi naman makain yan yung sa tabi ng highway, gutom na gutom, walang trabaho. Kaya kailangan natin ma-address yan. So I just like to focus now on the OPAP because this problem transcends not only in ARM but also in areas in Caraga, in northern Mindanao. I know in southern Mindanao as well. We have this problem, Secretary. And I hope that you can help me with this because we have a problem with the 4Ps implementation in Mindanao. Kung maganda po yung implementation sana ng 4Ps, katulad na nasa Iloilo or nasa Western Visayas and Central Visayas and other areas in Luzon, baka kumonti po yung problema natin ng New People's Army as well as insurgent secessionists. Can I get a comment from you, Secretary? Would you know who will be the appointed Secretary of the DSWD?
That I have no information about. But going back to the original issue about education, OPAP is involved in strong education that has a peace and conflict component. And we'll ask Yusuf Jojo to explain that. One of the main problems we have now is really how to build relationships because of conflict in many of the areas, and that is where we also try and work out on the level, not even in the educational sector, but in the general public about how to rebuild broken relationships with people in Mindanao that is caused by conflict. But
Maybe, may I make a suggestion sa OPAP, since you have a bigger budget than all these agencies that are here. Could you come up with a task force within the OPAP to study how you can further strengthen education in these conflict areas? I'll give you an example. I don't think you know this, but the CHED, the Commission on Higher Education, has come up with a circular that has banned or has put a stop on extension campuses of SUCs. That is a problem. Because Mindanao State University, MSU, has several extension campuses that cater all over ARM. Ibig sabihin yan, you have to close that and you have to go back to Marawi. Kami sa Bukidnon State University has about 6 extension campuses catering to the far-flung areas of Bukidnon. Some of them are NPA-infested areas. Now, we need to put a stop to that. We have to talk to the cabinet secretary in charge, maybe ES, maybe the president, that we have to not close down these extension campuses. I'll give you an example. The extension campus po sa Talakag, Bukidnon, which is about close to 100 kilometers away from Malaybalay City, where the main campus is. Napaka-mahal para sa estudyante na mahirap, nagaling sa pamilyang mahirap. Pumunta sa Malaybalay to rent a place and, get their food, etc., etc. So, all the students in Talakag, Bukidnon, which is a big municipality bounding Iligan City and Lanao Norte, actually, Secretary, go to school in an extension campus in Talakag. That extension campus now is on the verge of closing. Of course, I put my foot down and we're now going to discuss it lately in the budget that it should not happen. But this, according to the CHED, these extension campuses now churn out mediocre graduates. But for whatever it's worth, Your Honors, this, for example, I'll give just one example. Yung BSU Extension Campus sa Talakag, 98% yung board passers ng teachers doon. Therefore, we are creating professionals because they become board passers, they apply to government as teachers. And then, CHED would want to close that down. That will contribute to the problem again of uneducation and insurgency. And this also happens to be the same problem with MSU and all the other universities in Mindanao. So kailangan sa hindi lamang developmental, meaning projects ang pag-isipan natin, but also human resource development. And Yusek Josita should probably comment on this.
I'm aghast learning this for the first time, that they're closing extension schools.
Nagpapanik po yung mga mayors, not only from Bukidnon, but Misamis Oriental, they went to see me and other, sabi ko, naku, instead of adding to the solution, we are adding to the problem.
Before you respond, relatedly, yung pamana funding, meron siyang 18 million under CHED, di ba? And then another 8.2 million under the NCIP. And these are for scholarship programs.
Yes.
Now, with the passage of Republic Act 10931, yung Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, anong nature ng scholarship program nyo ngayon under the pamana? Gusto ko lang malaman.
Actually, Senators Lacson and Zubiri, the one in Pamana is really in partnership with CHED for college education of children of our rebel returnees or children of families that are vulnerable in areas that are prone to conflict. Also, in relation
What
to...
you're saying is they will not be covered by the provision of 10931. Hindi sila masasama kasi magdodoble.
Magdodoble nga po. That's why we are looking at how best...
CHED,
Yes, sir.
hindi na sila malilista doon sa CHED.
We are now looking at an alternative support to them. If the tuition will already be free, then we can perhaps support them in terms of their books,
Okay.
of their allowance, because it's also a reality.
Miscellaneous expenses. Okay.
Yes, sir. Because it is a reality that children or students from these areas do not even attend schools because they don't have pamplete. They don't even have food in their stomach when they attend school. So that's what we are looking at. Yes. In addition, we are also partnering with the Department of Education to support the alternative learning system schools in areas that are where there are no structured schools. We would like to see to it that we will have more of this, especially in areas of the IP, sir, because we are already seeing that our friends from the other side are even putting up their own schools. And that is something that is worrisome even to our colleagues in the security sector. We are also looking at supporting the Madaris system, but initially through perhaps supporting our teachers in the Madaris to be able to acquire more capacities so that they can also strengthen the education within the Madaris. But of course, there has to be some more work geared towards that, no, with the education because the integration of basic curriculum in the Madaris system has not been really completed until now. It has been under study for many, many years already. So that's what we are hoping we can support some more under the strategic framework for Mindanao Peace and Development to help our people, especially in the conflict-affected areas. We are also looking now at increasing more the skills development support to make our people in these areas skilled to participate in job generation and livelihood generation efforts that may be for government. For instance, in Marawi now, in the construction of housing for the Marawi IDPs, we will be starting soon a carpentry education program and with capital for our IDPs to be trained some more in carpentry, in the making of furnitures and even in the construction of houses with the support of TESDA and our locals there, so that they themselves can participate in the construction and earn income also. So it's just an example, so we're doing this not just in Marawi but in other conflict-affected areas as well.
Sana po sa pamana program ninyo, you put more emphasis also on education. TESDA training centers, skills training centers. Yan ang hindi ko nakikita. It's mostly FMRs, it's mostly buildings. Sana po yun ang i-focus po din nyo. Maybe 10% of your budget. That's the key. You know, I'll be honest with you. Sambuanga, I did my research in this anti-poverty summit. Talagang naggawa kami ng anti-poverty squad for Mindanao. You know how Davao del Sur of Governor Tony Sariles was able to control the problem of Sambuanga del Sur. They are not in the top 20. As a matter of fact, they're not even in the top 30 in terms of poverty incidences. And I was wondering why. So I visited them. Apparently, yung kanyang J.R. Sariles State University or State College, the main campus is in Pagadian. Ang ginawa niya, Senping, naglagay po siya, Mr. Chairman, ng 20 out of the 22 extension campuses. Ang tinayo niya sa tabi ng National High School. Ang sabi niya, wala na kayong excuse. Pag-graduate nyo dyan na high school, libre, yan na, libre na rin sa tabi mo. It is the State University or College, the SUC. And because of that, they're not even in the top 30. That was the biggest improvement in the last 10 years. It is education. Because once they graduate, whether they are passing grade, whether they are summa cum laude or whatever, what is important is they can work now in, whether it is in a hotel and restaurant, whether it is in the hospitality business, they can now go abroad. Many of them go abroad and they work for their families abroad. But that is the key. I always seem to miss that out whenever, not me, but the agencies always seem to miss that out when they make their presentation. Kaya napakalaga po ang CHED dito because they play a key role. Unfortunately, I know you are at odds with the CHED chairman, but I hope that can be resolved. Not you, but I know government. Is it true that she is persona non grata in cabinet meetings? She's not allowed to attend? No information? Because it is important. I know, being the office of the peace process, you must be friends with everybody. Pero malaga yung secretary. I think you need to look into that. The reason why the high conflict areas in these provinces is the lack of education, a lack of primary, secondary, and even tertiary education in these areas. Hindi na pumapasok yung mga tao. And it's getting worse. I don't think it's improving. If we do a PSA study, I think it is getting worse. Lalo na sa army, and that's why I want to ask Governor Mujib this fundamental question, because I believe it is ARM's role to build the high school and elementary classrooms all over the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao. How's that going, Governor?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. On poverty incidents muna punta ako. Actually, improving naman, Mr. Chair. Mabagal lang talaga. In fact, it's not because of the ongoing conflict in Sulu. Actually, Sulu lang ang bumagsak ang poverty incidents for 2015 sa buong ARMM. Ay, yung tumaas, lahat bumaba. Halimbawa, yung Tawi-Tawi from 21 to 10%, ang Basilan from 31 to 28, ang Maguindanao from 58 to 50. Pwede bang paano? So, ibig sabihin nun, bumaba lahat ng pero yung sa Sulu, nakita naman natin na mabuti nga nabawas-bawasan yung kidnapping sa Sulu dahil namatay na lahat ng mga kidnappers I hope matatapos na rin. Ang tingin ko, Mr. Chair, itong issue ng poverty incidence sa Ako definitely walang one single solution dito. I mean, this is dapat whole of nation approach talaga rito. Holistic yung approach from governance side, from security, lahat ng agencies, yung OPAP. Kasi kahit anong gawin ho natin, halimbawa, katulad ng OPAP, may ongoing peace process, pero ngayon nagigera ang MILF at BIFF, talagang affected. Halimbawa, on our part, Mr. Chair, nung pumutok yung issue ng Marawi, sabihin ko yung ibang program namin na meron kaming discretion to realign namin lahat. Dahil ayaw naman namin yung first week nun kasi yung national line agencies talagang mabigat pa yung transportation nila. So lahat nun ay nasa ARM. But anyway, on education aspect, just last week, Mr. Chair, kasi itong issue ng extremism, talagang malaking bagay na to. May dalawang klase ng education sa ARM. One, of course, yung current education system natin, yung traditional madaris. Pero even yung madaris may dalawa. Kaya noong last week, pumunta na talaga ako sa DepEd. Parang mahirap na. Ang laki ng, may mga pondo sa Central Office ng DepEd for madaris. Pero ito ay ina-allocate doon sa accredited at ito ang tawag nilang integrated madaris. Ito yung Alive program. Pero ang problema natin, Mr. Chair, hindi naman dito sa program na to eh. Ito yung mga traditional na madaris. Kaya nung ni-raise ko kay SND even sa DepEd, paano natin ma-regulate? Even yung local government, meron din silang difficulties sa pagre-regulate. Ang difference natin, halimbawa sa case ng Malaysia and Singapore, kaya kaya nilang i-regulate. Kasi babalik na naman ako doon sa issue ng constitutional provision, ng prohibition. Kasi sa Singapore, Your Honor, pati sa Malaysia, merong state subsidy. So, ibig sabihin, nare-regulate nila. Ang isang pwedeng gawin dito, katulad ng sinabi ni Presidente, halimbawa sa case ng Davao, at one time pumunta ako sa Sarangani. Naging guest of honor ako nung Governor si Gov. Mix Dominguez. Lahat ng madaris, yung sa traditional, even sa Davao, sinasahuran ng local government. Pero ang pondo na kinukuha nila is si Peace and Order Fund nila para to counter yung extremism. So ang tingin ko ito yung bagay on the part ng education at ang ARMM. Just last year, nakabuo kami ng isang parang module. Contextualized na module ito together with UN agencies kasama ang DepEd ARM. At ito yung ipopropag. Kasi ang ano nito, mas peace building ang tinuturo. Ang problem natin ngayon, paano natin ma-invite yung mga traditional madaris na gamitin yung module na ito. Kasi wala naman talaga, kahit i-regulate mo yan. Kasi, Your Honor, ang problema dyan, halimbawa ako isang ustad ako. Dahil faith-based yan, kung magturo ako about Islam, ang belief ng isang Muslim dyan, obligasyon ko dyan at rewarded ako pag nagawa ko. Diba? Obligasyon yan. Pag ni-regulate mo yan, inistriktuhan mo, at mali yung handling mo, baka gagawin pang rason sa'yo yan, dapat mag-jihad na lang tayo. Bakit pinipigilan tayo? So ito yung tingin ko yung bagay. Kaya last week nga, pumunta kami kay Sec Liling ng DepEd. Baka kailangan nating mag-usap ang NCMF, ang ARM, ang DepEd, yung security sector, para makabuo tayo ng national framework. Paano i-handle? Kasi isang seryosong problema na to na never in-expect ng ating bansa dahil hindi naman Muslim-dominated countries ang ating bansa. Pero alam natin sa Asia, even yung Singaporean government nung pumunta sa amin, talagang namangha sila na merong ganitong sitwasyon tulad nung pangyayari sa Marawi at nangyayari na dito. Yun yung sa education side. On the, parang yung sa DepEd, Your Honor, kaya sabi ko improving naman. Halimbawa, yung NAT namin, achievement, tumaas naman actually ng more than half. I mean, from 50 plus to 60.07. Pero yung completion rate namin, tumaas din. Pero ito, after we arrest, kasi every year, Your Honor, dahil ang sistema sa DepEd, si principal, every year, parang last year ata, more than 75 ghost students ang na-arrest namin. Ibig sabihin nito, pag hindi mo ma-arresto, ibig sabihin meron ka ng automatic na 75,000 students na hindi nakakomplete. Kasi nga, hindi existing yung number of students na yon. Kaya ngayon, isa rin yung pinag-usapan namin with DepEd. Dapat bago i-report ng mga principal sa kanila, kasi computerized, yung tatawagin nila rito, ano yun? Yung mag-actual headcount kami, pero meron silang data banking parang ira to eh. Kasi per capita yung DepEd natin. Pag marami kang estudyante, malaki ang MOE mo. Kaya parang ira. Kaya sabi namin baka pwede nating baguhin yung ganitong sistema. Kasi mag-i-encourage ka. Tapos automatic pa na hindi dadaan sa amin. Kaya ang ginagawa ng DepEd ngayon sa level namin, magkakaroon talaga kami ng year by year na actual headcount dahil ayaw namin babagsak yung completion rate namin. Kasi pag bumagsak ang completion rate mo, even yung achievement mo, babagsak din eh. Kasi nga may ghost ka na agad ng 70,000.
Problem in ARM, yung ghost students.
Actually, ang isang maganda lang yung honor, nung 2015 nga, from 2012 to 2015, more than 200,000. Yung ghost students, every year by year yon. Ang pinaka-latest namin is 2015 is 75,000.
200,000
Yeah,
ghost
pag i-combine mo yan, yes. I-combine mo year by year.
Pero, Gap, pagka ganyan, hindi ba ninyo pinipinalize yung mga ARM teachers? Yung
Well, actually, meron tayong kinakasuhan kasi nung inaayos namin ng sistema, baka maubusan ako ng teacher eh. At maubusan din ako ng principal. Kaya, minamanage ko rin yung sitwasyon. Dahil yung hiring process talagang mabigat. Pero ang isang maganda, Your Honor, sinasabi nga namin, yung nabisto namin yung ganitong kalakaran, talagang umaayos.
How many teachers and how many principals are involved in this?
Well, actually, ang malaking, based doon sa report namin, actually, Your Honor, sa main, actually, sa Lanao. Nasa slide namin, Your Honor. Kaya may kaso ngayon, actually, Your Honor.
Sanay tayo makarinig ng ghost project, pero ngayon lang nakarinig ng ghost students.
Actually, mabuti na rin kami ang manguna kaysa matuklasan nyo. Kaya namin yan pinapakita para at least conscious sila na nakikita na natin yung ganito dahil may sistema ng ginagawa. Ang last natin yung is 2015. Nag-actual headcount tayo 2016. Ang na-delist natin is 56,423.
So, what did you do to the ghost students?
Actually, wala yung hindi siya existing eh. So, tanggalin mo talaga sa pangalan yun. So, ang
delist.
Yeah. Kasi, Your Honor,
Pa-perks lang sa...
ipa-perks namin yun dahil ang implication nun, MOE ang implication budget din. Parang nag-allocate ka ng pondo na hindi mo dapat i-allocate. Yun yung purpose nun.
Actually, Mr. Chairman,
Pardon the stupid question. Ghost nga pala.
no, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, I would like to commend Governor Mujib for the candor that is bringing this up. I think you're the only governor of ARM that has brought this up. And I'd like to state this because after my consultation with a lot of our friends there in ARM, you're doing a good job in trying to create these reform programs for ARM. Kaya saludo ako na linabas nyo ito. Siguro ang tanong namin ano pang plano mo dito? So what do you plan to do? The head count, have you already activated this planned actual head count?
Actually, yearly by year yan, Your Honor. Meron kaming tinatawag na GISA. So hanggang mga superintendent, ang tawag na parang Governor's Initiative System. O GISA ang assessment. So every year yan, every quarter, ginigisa namin para tapos, ang maganda dyan, Your Honor, kasi pinapagawa natin sila ng parang affidavit. Kung meron silang data na sinasubmit na mali, at least pananagutan nila. So, hoping hindi na nila gagawin ulit yan.
Kasi yan ang problema pag yung report sa inyo is all rosy, then that is the report also to national government at hindi natin nalalaman talaga dito sa Metro Manila or sa national government yung actuality. Let's say they'll say in one town, how many percentage of the children are students in DepEd? Wala, may ghost.
Pero, Your Honor, baka maganda rin yan tingnan sa kabuuan. Baka mamaya hindi lang yan sa ARM. Di ba ho? Kasi naalala ko nung mga unang panahon, nung nagkaroon ng investigation, merong mga sundalong sinasahuran na patay na. So, ibig sabihin nito, baka hindi lang to true sa ARM. Baka mamaya ARM lang ang nag-initiate. Kasi sa totoo lang, nasasaktan din kami, Your Honor. Every time pag-uusapan yung budget, yung corruption, laging nangunguna ang ARM. So, para meron din makita yung ilan na meron ding ARM na nangangaha sitwasyon na to despite ng limitations namin.
Sure. Magtanong ako, may mga demanda na ba yan for those who are responsible? Because
Good question.
that's the only way to call the attention of the world.
Good question, Gov.
Actually, sir, from contractors to teachers hanggang superintendent, merong mga pending cases ang mga yan. Hindi lang actually, pati contractors, meron na rin kami
Wala
kinakot.
pang na-resolve na kaso?
Actually, meron ng mga ilang sir na natanggal. Parang last 2 weeks.
Administrative, how about
Yeah.
criminal?
Actually, pinatanggal na talaga sila, sir. Ang iba may criminal, ang iba may administrative. Kasi meron din talagang mga teacher na promote na ng ilang beses, pero ang document ay fake.
The details, itong lahat ng...
Yes, sir.
Kasi maganda yung report. We need the details.
Yes, sir. We will submit the report, Your Honor.
And then, Gov, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask, so, from the ghost, okay, let's now move away from, we'll come back to ghost students. What about ghost classrooms? Kasi yung mga dati, nung araw, hindi pa panahon mo, I remember they will always highlight in the news when the president, was it when they went to Sulu? Who was the one that, yung Go Negosyo pumunta sa Sulu recently, they're building homes there in Sulu, yung kapatid program ni Joey Concepcion, yung PA for MSMEs. I remember him showing in our Viber thread, yung mga classrooms dun sa Sulu na gawa ng kawayan. DepEd classrooms ito. Sabi, ganun pa ba yun ang sistema na?
Actually, Your Honor, meron pa talaga kaming mga school rooms na kailangang ayusin. Kasi only last year nagkaroon ng tamang reports, sa totoo lang. Even yung mga facilities supervisor. Pero anyway, Your Honor, sinasabi ko nga para maiwasan namin, baka pwede nyong pakita namin to. Actually, very short video to. Binuo namin sa lahat ng project, sinamarize na lang namin. Kasi medyo makapal yung report. Actually, sasubmit din namin sa committee. Ngayon, actually, may dala-dala kami. Pwede doon, check doon.
About yung dissemination nyo sa public? Kasi hindi
Yun
na
ngayon.
situation sa amang may access dito.
Yes, yes, sir.
Even
National.
Filipino-Americans.
Kaya yun yung
May
kaibahan
wifi,
nito, sir.
kaya ma-access, di ba?
Halimbawa, sir, may listahan kami ngayon sa budget. Puntahan nyo, makita nyo kung ano yung status. Kahit using Google Earth lang. Actually, itong pinapakita lang namin, sir, yung mga connectivity road na wala talagang ano. Sir, sa quality kasi
salamat. Anyway, nagsabit naman kayo rito. Kasi it's past 12 and we'll be attending another budget hearing ng DPWH and we'll be chasing ghosts there also.
We will submit the documents, sir.
Ang curious lang ako, ilang taon ka na rin sa picture na ito?
Congressman pa ako niyan. Pag ikaw mag-answer, tatanda ka talaga.
So, having said that, the budgets of OPAP, Minda...
To close lang, Your Honor.
Yeah, sige, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maybe just to close, because, again, reiterating my passion to help our region. Just to wrap up, so Secretary Alonto, please, and you, Sec Janet, maybe you could come up together with OPAP a strategic plan to address the education problem in the region, including skills development. And I hope that we can follow through with that in the next budget hearing for the next year, para we can help. Maybe in the Pamana program, Sec, pwede natin ilagay po sa Pamana program itong mga skills development centers. At the same time, Sec, we fully support a peaceful resolution of all these conflicts. I would like to put on record what the MILF has been doing. I congratulate them. They have been giving goodwill gestures to government. Just for the record, they have been supporting our efforts to combat extremism by fighting the BIFF and other extremist groups in Mindanao and helping us in the rescue of many of our brothers and sisters in Marawi. I want to put that on record. Parang wala masyadong nagsasabi ng ganun. Gusto ko ilagay po yan because we need their support when we try to craft the BBL. We need the help of the OPAP. It's now in our hands. Of course, there are certain critical issues on the BBL, but I hope they do not close their hearts and minds when we make these amendments. Kasi ang gusto po natin, ipasa ang BBL, but of course, it has to be in compliance with the Constitution unless we amend the Constitution. So, yun lang po, in the front of the NPA Secretary, alam mo, tayo po, that was the road. That was the road that the PSG was ambushed. It's going to your beautiful home in the boundary of Davao and Bukidnon. I pass that all the time. So it is critical that we also come up with a political solution on that problem. Hindi natin kakayanan yung all-out war on all fronts. What they want is all-out peace. But with, of course, when we do this, we have to make sure that we must be, there must be trust on both sides, coming from both sides. So I understand the position of government not to fully agree on the request on one side. There has to be goodwill measures also coming from the other side in terms of the problem with the New People's Army. They also must cooperate and they also must show their sincerity in wanting a long-lasting peace. With that said, yes, with that said, Your Honors, again, for me, the key to defeat poverty is really education, jobs, as you said, and all the programs that you had mentioned, including public funds to be utilized in these areas. I also like to congratulate Governor Ataman for all these proactive programs to combat corruption. Your candor, sir, is well appreciated by this committee. And I'm glad you said this because when we defend your bill, when we defend your budget on the floor, your candor, of course, today's hearing will help us and guide us. So I now move for the approval of the budgets of the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process. I also move, Your Honor, to approve the budget of Minda. I also move to approve the budget of the SPDA. I so move, and the ARMM for plenary deliberations. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing no objection, the motion is approved. Thank you and have a good day, everyone.